everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Thursday and it's May 26th. All right, we have a couple of meetings to tell you about today. We have one this afternoon at 1 o'clock, and that will be the GRF Equestrian Ad Hoc Committee meeting, and that is in the Sycamore Room. And then at 1:30 this afternoon, we have the Third Garden Villa Recreation Subcommittee, and that will be in the boardroom. And then at 2 o'clock this afternoon is a United Agenda Prep, and that will be in the Willow Room. All right, on our show today, we have Dr. John Hovnessian, who's going to tell us about a new eye drop that actually helps your eye lift a bit, and that is called Upneek. And then we have Cindy Whitney here with Thrive, and she's going to tell us all about the program and some of the great things that they're going to be doing and some events that are coming up. All right, let's take a look at our weather. Well, we are looking at partly cloudy, partly sunny skies throughout the whole week. We are going to burn off our fog in just a little bit, maybe an hour or two. But we are looking at nice sunny skies after that. We have partly cloudy skies today, 72-57. Tomorrow, 73-60. Saturday, 70-59. Sunday, 72-58. And then on Monday, 68-61. Our sunrise this morning was at 5:44, and our sunset will be at 7:52. And thank you, Mark Weiss, for sending in this great photo down at the beach that's highlighting our flag. And of course, Memorial Day is coming up on Monday, so we will be honoring all of the those who have died in various wars. If you have a photo that you would like to share with us, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, when we come back, we will have Dr. Hovnessian, so stay tuned.
It's time for a reinvention. It's time to write new chapters in our life stories. Every story includes a middle, where important events unfold. A second act, if you will, where characters learn more about themselves, where people discover how truly different life could be. A reinvention, a retirement. It's time to turn your hobbies into creative businesses, to volunteer using skills gathered across a lifetime, to hit the open road in search of new horizons and fresh faces. It's time to grab those grandchildren and hold them close. Grand adventures. Or simple pleasures. Today's retirement is different. It's not the final chapter in the book of life, but rather a new beginning. A second act.
At Harvard Eye, we're so happy to be open again to see you for all your medical and surgical eye care. We're taking great care to protect everyone from COVID-19 by seeing fewer patients, spacing out chairs in our lobby, sanitizing our office constantly, and doing much more. The world is changing a lot, but what hasn't changed is we're honored by your trust and confidence and committed to keeping you safe. We can't wait to see you.
Welcome back. Well, we have Dr. John Hovnessian here, who's going to tell us about a new product called Upneek. And we've got this little bag here that's going to kind of tell us all about what it is.
That's right.
So what is Upneek?
You know, there's Lisa, 3 stages of life. There's you're young, and then you're middle age, and then you look good, is what people say,
For
right?
your age. right?
So this is, somewhere for that second to third stage of life.
Okay.
This is relatively new. It's been out for a little over a year. An eye drop that is prescribed by doctors that helps lift the eyelids so that we, in the same way that surgery can do. Of course, the eye drop works temporarily. It's not permanent, but for a number of hours after it's put in the eye, it gives about 1 millimeter or so, which is a meaningful amount of lift to the eyelids. And there's a lot of interesting and useful places for this besides just the desire to have beauty. And here's some examples on screen of what it can do, some before and after.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you. So if you look on the left-hand side, the gal on the top, she looks like she's got super red eyes. And then on the right, it's white. I mean, is that basically kind of what it's supposed to do as well?
There might be a little bit of difference in color, and it will constrict blood vessels a little bit. The active ingredient is called oxymetazoline, and this is a well-known medication that is actually part of Afrin nasal spray. For those who use that to clear up their nose, it's the same active ingredient. And that works, of course, as a vasoconstrictor. It's what we call a sympathomimetic, which means that it stimulates locally the sympathetic nervous system, which tightens blood vessels, which would make the eyes look a little bit wider. And so it's interesting that you notice that. And also, it stimulates what's called Mueller's muscle.
So is it lifting this part of the eye or this part of the eye?
So there's, in the upper part of your eyelid, there's kind of a firm fibrous tissue there that it feels a little bit like cartilage if you sort of play with it, and it's not actually cartilage. But attached to the top of that is a muscle, and I think we have an anatomic diagram that shows it, that's called Mueller's muscle, and most of us don't know we have this muscle, but when it's stimulated, Mueller's muscle, which here is shown in red, the label for it there is circled in red too, Mueller's muscle lifts the eyelid. What you see below there with the blue sort of squiggly line going through it, that's the tarsus, the tarsal plate. That's that sort of, it feels like cartilage layer of the eyelid. And it lifts that about 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeters when Mueller's muscle is stimulated. And that's exactly how oxymetazoline, that's exactly how this medication called Upneek works. Upneek is like a combination of uplifting and unique. Upneek.
Oh, well, that's smart. That's a great way. Now, so if you were to have your eyes done, let's just say the upper eyes, is that just taking skin, or is it also taking a little bit of the muscle?
Great question. So there are different ways that surgery can be done. The skin can be just removed alone, and for people who have an extra fold of skin but their eyelids are in a normal position, that's all we need to do is just take a little bit of extra skin there. For people whose eyelids are actually heavy, where it's covering part of the eye and getting down close to the pupil where it affects vision, we actually have to lift the eyelids. So one of the common procedures we do is called a Muellerectomy, where we actually remove some of Mueller's muscle and lift the eyelid. And there's other procedures as well that do similar things to advance or strengthen the muscles that lift the eyelid.
Well, right. I have seen some people who do have a very heavy, and it really prevents them from being able to see correctly.
That's absolutely right. We think about it as just a beauty procedure, but in fact, when eyelids become heavy, they can affect vision, and there are cases where insurance or Medicare will actually cover the procedure. It's not super common, but practices that do a lot of this, including ours, are fairly good at getting coverage when it's appropriate. And this is also the reason that if you're thinking about having eyelid surgery, it's worthwhile seeing an oculoplastic surgeon. That means not just a plastic surgeon, but one who's trained in ophthalmology, because getting the eyelids right is not easy. And there is more than one procedure, as I just mentioned, to do it. So using the right procedure, having the right judgment, not just making it part of a big practice where you do a lot of other things, really benefits patients with giving them expertise. I don't do eyelid procedures. I've got two great surgeons, John Noguchi and Jeff Jacobs, in our practice. John Noguchi's brand new to us, but he's not brand new to eye care. He's a seasoned oculoplastic surgeon.
Wonderful.
Both of them are trained in ophthalmology and in plastic surgery, so that they have the know-how to do it. And there are other great oculoplastic surgeons in the area as well.
So let's say, so somebody wanted to know more about UPNEEQ. Maybe they
Yeah.
were thinking about doing the surgery, but
Yeah.
said, you know what, maybe I'll try this first.
Yeah.
So they would make an appointment. Would they make an appointment with those particular doctors, or would it be any of them?
They could. Actually, any of the doctors in our practice, including optometrists, if you haven't had a good eye exam, a good comprehensive eye exam, you certainly could go to Jeff Jacobs or John Noguchi or other doctors in our practice. And particularly if you have an interest in surgery, they'd be appropriate to choose. But we have wonderful optometrists as well who can guide patients through UPNEEQ, as well as do a comprehensive eye exam, check for glasses or contact lenses. And of course, any of the doctors in the community, we work with a network of hundreds of optometrists who work in the community who provide really good quality care, and they can also prescribe UPNEEQ. So it's not something that the practice sells, it's something you get through a pharmacy. The doctor just prescribes it like any other drug.
Okay, but
Yeah.
they could come and try it
Yes.
if they had an exam with you guys and
Yeah.
they expressed interest.
There are, yes, you know, it's subject to the availability of supplies because we don't always get samples of everything. You're special, so I brought you one today, and we should talk about that. So
Yes, so as a matter of fact, I did put this in my left eye, so we're gonna see how that looks. And as of right now, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, here's a before
Yeah.
of what my eyes looked like before.
Yeah.
And so now I'll go ahead and look at the camera.
It's,
and
it's
we'll
pretty
see.
subtle, but I see your left eye. Point to your left eye so the audience is clear on what we mean by your left eye. It's her left, not on our left. So that eye, you know, now we don't expect this medication to work in this short a time, so we're giving it a little bit of an unfair test. In a few patients, it will work as early as 5 minutes. It's probably been 15 minutes since you put it in. Typically, it takes a few hours, so I won't be at all disappointed or surprised if it doesn't seem to be doing anything for your eyes right now. But I do think I see a little improvement or a little, you know, increase in the size.
Yeah, well,
your eyes looked nice before, but
Oh, well,
a little
thank
more
you.
open.
You know, I was actually wondering about, you know, them lifting as well as, you know, looking maybe more well rested, which is kind of nice to have, because
That's
when
right.
you have wider eyes and your eyes are bigger, you look definitely more well rested.
You just look better. That's right.
You just look good.
You don't look tired. And, you know, if there's one thing we want to try not to look is the way we feel sometimes. We feel
Isn't
tired.
that the truth? That's the truth. Well, perfect. Well, I appreciate all the information about UPNEEQ, and of course, if anyone has any questions about any of your services, they can always go to harvardeye.com or the phone number that's on the screen, right?
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here, and always a pleasure to share something new with your viewers. So thanks for
Love it.
Thanks for including me today.
All right, thank you very much for the information. And of course, if you want more information about UPNEEQ or any of the services that Harvard Eye has, you can always go to their website at harvardeye.com. We'll be right back.
Number one reported accident for a senior is a fall.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. If you've taken a bad fall or your balance isn't what it used to be, it's time to try 60 Up. It's safe, it's effective balance training that can get you back on your feet in as little as 3 weeks, like it did me.
If you have balance, strength, or mobility issues, you need 60 Up.
Within a couple weeks, my balance has improved.
If you're feeling scared, you need 60 Up.
It works.
Go to 60up.com. That's the number 60up.com.
It changed my life, and it can change yours too.
I'm Jerry Slusowitz, founder of Pacific Financial Planners. Did you know that one simple mistake can derail your retirement plan? By not making the shift to income-based investing, you could be setting up your retirement plan to fail. If you're at or near retirement age, time is not on your side. One major stock market correction could wipe out your life savings. Visit safeincometoday.com to make the switch. Create retirement income you can count on.
Pacific Cremation Services offers you the ultimate freedom to become one with the salty breezes and brilliant sunset reflections. A scattering at sea is a unique, beautiful way to honor the life of anyone who chooses to be cremated. We help you plan the details and understand what to expect. Choose from our 3 simple plans and let us help you start the process of healing and life celebration. Contact us at pacificcremationservices.com to create a personalized service at sea today.
Elizabeth Repper writes, "My neighbor is a kind and thoughtful person. She sweeps the walk not only in front of her manor, but the whole walk from beginning to end, including around the trash area. And during the fall, when the trees lose their leaves, She's out sweeping almost every day.
Welcome back. Well, we have Cindy Whitney here on behalf of Thrive. Well, welcome. So nice to see you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. So nice to be here.
We appreciate you coming in and sharing all this great information where, you know, we try every day to make sure everyone has a wonderful life here in the village. And what better way than kindness, right? And I know you guys went on that campaign and you're still on that campaign and you try to do something new every year, right?
Yes, we do. And I want to begin by saying that to thrive really has many dimensions, and sometimes thriving is just feeling safe in a chaotic time.
Sure.
So it takes on a different dimension sometimes situationally.
Exactly, exactly. And you know, right now there's been a lot going on in the news that isn't particularly happy or enjoyable. Especially we had that unfortunate shooting that happened the other day, and there, you know, many of our residents have grandchildren of that age, and it's frightening. And so, what do you say to those people when it comes to, you know, making others feel good?
Well, some things don't make sense. We have to focus on, you had a PSA on a few minutes ago that said sometimes you don't have a song in your heart, but sing anyway. You know, be strong for them. A lot of psychologists have been on the news in the last few days saying, meet the children where they are. If they ask questions about feeling safe or is there danger in the world, answer that question. Don't go beyond that. They sometimes can't handle that. So listen to them, listen to what they are actually asking you, and respond at that level.
Right. So don't try to go too beyond.
No, because they can't comprehend, and it might make them more frightened.
Exactly, exactly. All right, so we have a couple of things that I know you wanted to report on.
Yes.
So there was a wellness expo not too long ago, and it looked jam-packed.
It was jam-packed. It was, and by the numbers, our wellness expo was the third annual wellness expo. We had a little break there because of COVID. We had 826 attendees. It was jam-packed.
Great.
We had 23 what we call sponsors, but they're sort of sponsors, vendors, because they brought their products and services there so we could kind of touch and feel and take things away. Samples, those are always popular. And because the Wellness Expo was so popular, it's going to be biannual now. There's already a second one scheduled for this year on October 1st.
Oh, good.
At Clubhouse 5, so we're really excited about that. You know, the vendors were great this time. They brought things that, you know, sort of extend what we already know about. Maybe we know a little bit about nutrition and emotional well-being and that sort of thing. But other things that are beyond our expertise, like real estate transactions, estate planning. We don't necessarily know so much about, you know, medical and dental treatments and that sort of thing.
Okay, good.
So they did a lot of things, and none of us have an expertise in making a chicken wrap sandwich, so that's why we always invite Chick-fil-A. They bring hundreds of those chicken wrap sandwiches, and everybody just comes in and says, "Where's Chick-fil-A?"
Oh, that's great.
That's straightforward.
But you know what? That's a good point, because you know, you go there and you don't always know.
No.
In any of the places that you love, you know, you always think, well, I'm going to get a cheeseburger, but they actually have alternatives to stuff like that, and are still delicious.
They're healthy. Exactly.
And they're healthy.
They're
okay.
healthy. Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's great, and I'm glad you're doing it biannually, because you just can't get enough information.
I know, and they actually held screenings there. You know, Memorial Care is kind of our our partner in wellness, and they had a wonderful lecture on mental health, and then they had these wonderful screenings, carotid artery and lung, heart, blood pressure, vascular, and so forth. So,
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. And then, of course, the 90s luncheon is coming up, and we have a picture that we showed of all of the 90s participants. I think that was the last time.
There it is. Yeah, yes, that was the last time we could have had it, because we had to take a break there to our nonagenarians. Usually there's about 230 residents and their families that will show up. The tickets, I believe, went on sale today.
Okay.
You can check with Miguel and Magdalena in Clubhouse 5. That's where it's going to be.
All right.
Do you know we have 1,280 nonagenarians?
There was a lot.
That's
I mean, I knew
amazing.
from when we had the vaccination clinics that we had so many people that were over the age of 85.
Yes.
So it's a great
It really
big
is.
community.
There's the beauty shot there.
There's with everybody in it. Yeah, that's so cute.
I love
Look
the
at
gentleman
all
who
those.
it took me 92 years to look this good. And he does.
Now, see, what a great attitude, right? 'Cause
Oh,
if
yeah.
If you have a crummy attitude and you're not happy all the time, what are you going to do? You're going to feel bad.
That's kind of what thriving is, you know?
Exactly.
Don't live your life based on the expectations other people have of you, you know? Reject those expectations and live, you know, your best life and find a way to do that.
Right. I love it. In fact, I'm going to send those PSAs to my dad. He's 92 and he lives in Texas, and I just visited him for the first time in 3 years, just this past weekend. And you know, that is exactly the way you want them to feel. Is you want them to feel happy and laugh and enjoy life. You know, even though they might have dealt with a lot of things health-wise and stuff, you try to lift them up as best as you can.
We're not defined by our pathology. You know, there are health issues as we age, but if we deal with them, you know, get bionic, get, you know, a pacemaker, get your hip replaced, get your, you know, I mean,
get bionic. That's so true.
Yeah, you know.
Exactly. Now, we do have some PSAs that I know you wanted to chat about. And you did mention one earlier, and we did show some before the show.
Yes.
So, what are they meant to do?
Well, they're like little greeting cards or a little postcard and little interstitial in between some of the regular programming that, you know, helps you with mindfulness. Just take a break. Think about, you know, if you're feeling sad, well, cheer somebody else up, or that wonderful Winston Churchill quote. I mean, there are always things that you can put in a PSA, a public service announcement, that helps people just take a moment away from, you know, what may be troubling them, and say, you know what, life is good. I'm going to reflect on something. Sometimes it's poetry, sometimes it's humorous, which is, to me, the big antidote to anything. So yeah, that's what it's meant to be. Stop, think differently for a second. You know, things aren't so bad.
And you know, you might see them regularly on Village television, but that's the point. Is that the more you see it, the more it's ingrained, and you start to hopefully behave that way.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and we have some great PSA contributors. Paul Ortiz is one of them. He does beautiful little short films. Mark Rabinowitz, Tom Nash, Lucy Parker does wonderful little animations. So those are members of the Thrive team. So that's how these things happen. And Mark Rabinowitz is, you know, also our photographer. So sometimes he's not in the picture because he's behind the camera.
I know. You know, there is actually a picture I'm not sure we showed is all of you guys, and it's great because you don't always know who's behind all of this, right? And so this way we can see who is behind all of it.
Right to left is Tom Nash, Lucy Parker, next to him, Beth Perek. She keeps us honest and schedules everything and keeps the meeting notes. And then I was there too. Again, Mark is taking the photo. Paul wasn't there because he was busy running in the entire broadband of the community. And
where was this taken?
And Joan Milliman. That's at the Wellness Expo.
Oh, at the Wellness Center.
We had a table there.
Oh, that's great. Smart.
Yes.
Well, good. I mean, the more you guys can get out there, we love the fact that you're promoting it and making sure everybody is well and happy and kind.
Yeah, we provided service, you know, notices as to where they can get health care services and so forth, and we gave away our little tangerines until they ran out. So we had a good time there. Everybody wanted to talk about, you know, wellness and how Thrive can help them.
Well, and I know that you guys have been doing this for a few years now, and if someone wanted to participate or, you know, help you guys out or give you suggestions or whatever, how do they get in touch with you?
thriveinthevillage@yahoo.com it's an email address, and so that will get you through to one of the Thrive group members, and we'll get back to you. And sure, any ideas that you have, or you know, how are you thriving? Has someone shown a kindness to you? You know, what are some of the things that help you thrive in the village? We love to hear those stories, and we hear a lot of them. So we'd like to share those with other people and let them reflect on that.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for the information.
It's always my pleasure.
I love it. And one thing I wanted to do real quick is I just wanted to show the slide one more time about the 90s luncheon. Tickets are on sale, hopefully today. However, it's going to be June 21st. At 11:30 in the morning at Clubhouse 5. It is free for the residents, 90 and over, and then $21 per guest.
Yes, thank you for
I just wanted to make sure we had that information. Of course, if they want that information, they can always get in touch with Recreation.
Yes, and we're glad that we can all be getting together for these types of events now.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrate them.
Absolutely. All right, Cindy, thank you again.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Happy to be here.
Of course, if you want more information about Thrive or you want to suggest something that they could cover, you can always get in touch with them at thriveinthevillage@yahoo.com. We'll be right back.
Mary Ann Bamberger writes, "When I first walked into the sewing room, I was shown such kindness and patience. I'm now part of the sewing room staff. It's awe-inspiring that Judy Yen comes into the sewing room 5 days a week to sew quilts for various charities. Her time and kindness is truly a beautiful thing."
Captain America.
Watch HGTV.
Netflix.
Welcome back. Well, we just have time for our weather today, so take a look at these numbers. We are looking for sunshine, which you can already see it's clearing up out there very nicely. And today's temperature is not going to be too warm, 72-57, 73-60, 70-59, Sunday 72-58, and Monday 68-61. Have a great day in the village. We'll be right back here again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.
We're coming for you, Cancer. At City of Hope, we won't stop working until we've saved every life. That's why we're opening an NCI-designated academic cancer campus right here in Orange County. Your days are numbered, Cancer. We're coming for you, Cancer. At City of Hope, more than 400 world-renowned physicians and 1,000 scientists and researchers are coming together to focus only on one thing: curing cancer. Your days are numbered, Cancer.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.